Welcome to Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger, a.k.a. Wrecking Yard Will, and we are live from the Wrecking Yard here in Torrance, California, beautiful South Bay. Right next to me, I got Mr. Angel Gonzalez, young superstar on the rise as a coach and as a player. He's currently at Camino College playing third base. He's also helping out with our travel teams. He does lessons here. He's a great asset to us. We're very lucky to have him. Next to him, we got Mr. Taylor Felipe, former JUCO Bandit. He's he's a head coach of our 14U travel team. He helps with the 13s as well. He does lessons. He does a lot of great things for us here. A South Bay legend right here in the making.
Relax.
And next to him, we got Mr. Jordan Crispy, Giants glazer. Big Giants glazer kind of guy.
Get me on the staff.
Give this guy a job. Anyway,
He needs it.
He played at Marymount and played third base. He heads our 12 and 13U, gives lessons here. We're very lucky to have all these guys. So right now we have a topic that I think these guys are wanting to get after a little bit. So I have 3 travel ball coaches here with me, all of which have coached travel ball for years, I would say. I guess, Angel, you're on like year 2, but these two have been at it for multiple years. But anyway, we're in here in this facility every day where these guys are working with teams, whether they're our teams, other teams. So we wanted to start it off with the topic of what is your biggest pet peeve as a coach for players? What is the thing that makes you the most angry, pisses you off the most about the players you coach? Obviously, we're not naming any names here.
I'll name a couple names.
But so yeah, who wants to start it off? Crispy, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Yeah, I'll get it going.
Signs.
No, my biggest thing is, especially for my younger folk, they sometimes they miss some signs, you know, and it's very upsetting, you know, and it's slightly different. Like I'll call a steal, we'll do a delay. I'll call a delay, they do a regular steal. I'll call a hit and run, my batter will swing, my base runner won't go. I'll call a hit and run, my batter won't swing, my base runner will go. Like, just simple stuff like that gets me grinding my gears. It grinds.
I think you just need to switch the signs, bro, because there's a lot of signs missed.
Other than that, though, I'll probably say my other biggest pet peeve is this new, like, sliding mitt little era that they got going on. I swear to God, one of my kids will get walked. He'll walk down. He'll have all the time to walk to first, and then he'll pull the thing out of his pocket, and the guy's already on the mound, and he's like getting his lead, and I'm like, dude, like, let's go. You had all this time while you were walking to first to put that sliding mitt on. Like, let's go. And
And then he doesn't even steal second.
Exactly. Like, I got the biggest dudes wearing sliding mitts, and they don't even go. It's like, what are we doing?
And it's got the ice cream drip on it. It's like, that's why y'all so soft wearing ice cream on the baseball field.
Hey, relax. I got an ice cream catcher's glove, dude. Hop on.
He's calling you soft. He's calling you soft.
I tell my guys at the beginning of the inning, when we're going on to offense, I tell them, I'm gonna take all the sliding mitts. If you don't give me yours, by the time I walk over there, you're not gonna use one today, right? And when you get on base, I'm gonna give it to you, and you're gonna look at the sign while you put it on. If you can't do that, you're not gonna wear one. And that's what I tell my guys.
That's fair. That's a good system. You might need to implement that.
No, because when they get the first, it's like too slow, and like pitcher's already pitching the first pitch. It's like, guy, figure it out.
Shout out to Jake.
That's on you. Jake.
How is that on me?
That's
man?
on
I
Jake.
can't tell them.
No, you know what you got to do? Hey, shout out Coach Sua. The batter doesn't get in the box until your base runner is ready and got her signs. Shout out Coach Sua.
There you go.
I like that.
Taylor, what's one of your biggest pet peeves when it comes to travel ball players as a coach?
Missed signs is a big one. Also, forgetting a jersey, forgetting your belt, not being in uniform, wearing Crocs to the freaking field.
Ooh, yep.
Jesus Christ.
We have a no Crocs policy here at Wrecking Yard. Do not be pulling up in Crocs. You will get body slammed by Jordan Crispy. It's a fact.
Alex Tanzilla. Yeah.
Big Taz.
So what else? What about let's make it more specific. What gets your gears grinding at practice?
Oh,
No effort.
easy.
I hate that shit. There's 2 hours of your day after you've been to school for I don't know how long. You guys get freaking late start now, right? So you guys have time to sleep in, time to go home, time to change, time to eat, get to practice, and Give me your 100% of practice. No effort is what kills me.
I think for me, it's the kids that are just going through the motions. You know, I've been coaching for like 4 years now, and you know the kids that want to be out there, that want to get better.
Right.
And then of course you get some kids that, you know, just they're there either because parents wanted them to do another sport or whatever the case may be. But it's tough trying to coach a kid that doesn't want to necessarily get better, and he's kind of just out there to have fun, you know. And that's not bad if you want to have fun,
But take that shit to Little League, right?
Exactly.
This
Like,
is travel ball.
I'm
Mom
trying-
and daddy are paying money for you to be here.
I'm trying to get you better, you know.
Absolutely. And to any kids that might be watching this, I mean, you don't have to be the best player on the field. You don't have to be the biggest, the
not.
strongest, the fastest, but coaches pay attention to two things that everyone is in control of, and that's your attitude and your effort. It is not difficult to show up to your practice for an hour, 2 hours, give it everything you got. When the coach is talking, give him your eyes and your ears. Shut up. Like, it drives me crazy when we're doing a camp or whatever, and I got to sit there and yell and clap and do all this stuff to get kids' attention. It's like, when the coach is talking, you stop talking. And if you're going to be there, you might as well get the most out of it. Give it all your effort. Your practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if you're sitting there habitually giving crappy effort with bad mechanics, you're not trying your hardest, all you're doing is solidifying bad habits. That's it. You're just solidifying that you're going to not be a good player. So any player watching this, give it your all, have a good attitude, listen to your coach, and just work on the fundamentals, the mechanics. When I go to Dodger Stadium and do media, 7 o'clock game, I get there at 2 o'clock. Guess who the first two players on the field were?
Mookie and Freddie.
Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, the two best players. It's no coincidence. It's no accident. And Freddie's sitting there doing flip drills. He's doing ground balls. Mookie's taking ground balls. It's all the basic stuff. When we interviewed Mookie, one of the quotes he said was, "You're never too good for the fundamentals." That's a fact. A lot of y'all kids, I come out to practice, you guys do not have the fundamentals. You're jumping out of the way of ground balls. You know, there's got to be a higher level of effort, focus, and just toughness. This might not be football or MMA. You got to be tough to play baseball, man. Like, that ball is hard. It comes at you fast, whether you're in the batter's box or you're in the infield. And you got to be tough. You got to be willing to get in front of that ball. I would like to see a lot more effort, better attitude, and just more toughness out of our entire program and just youth baseball, youth sports in general. Angel, what's some of the things that piss you off about practice?
About practice?
About practice or just travel players
in general.
I would say the way you guys wear your pants. I mean, some of the pants, they're nice and tailored, and then other pants are like, bro, give those back to your little brother.
Angel's a big drip guy. He's always
No. I'm
he's
not
got
a big drip guy. I'm just a big style guy.
big style guy. All right.
You know, everybody has their different style, but man, you got to look presentable.
Angel's a classic, man.
Not a fan of the spray-ons. Not
gotta
a
look-
fan.
You don't like dirty mids?
Dirty mids, yeah, I love them. But
You like them baggy?
Spray on.
Okay, spray-ons like sea bass.
Yeah, like that's too
What are
tight.
What is
spray-ons?
spray-ons?
The-
Like, it
the
just looks like
tight-tights?
it looks like you're
Spray-ons,
wearing
like,
fucking
it
leggings.
looks like you're wearing leggings.
I mean,
Like,
if you got the legs to do it, go for it. It's
You
a
got
look. It's a look.
If you're
I'm not gonna
jacked.
lie to you.
If you got the Spencer
if-
Strider quads, yeah, sure.
But if you're a little
Glaze
torta,
the Braves anymore.
Oh my God. Coming from this guy who every free agent's going to the Dodgers, I make one Braves comment. We're talking about jacked legs. Who's got more jacked legs than Spencer Strider?
Juan
Tyler
Soto.
O'Neill, Juan Soto.
No.
You're like
absolutely not.
Yasiel Puig.
No.
Paulo Sandoval.
He's not even in the league. Okay.
Pablo Sanders.
Yeah, that's
Is that the look you're going
That's
for
a
here
bad-
for next Halloween?
All right, now let's go to an even more sensitive topic. Let's try not to lose any money here, but let it rip, boys. Biggest pet peeve from parents in travel ball, who we've expressed the players. let's be honest. A lot of times the parents are the biggest problems in travel ball and little league at any sport because they're half the time they're more into it than their kid.
Well, I mean, they're paying the money for it, bro.
Exactly. And they want to see little Johnny get a D1 scholarship, and he's the best thing to ever touch the dirt. And so what is, Crispy, what's one of your pet peeves from parents, travel ball parents?
One of my pet peeves is...
Get on the mic.
My bad. One of my pet peeves from parents, I got a few to be honest, but...
Let them rip.
One of the biggest ones is if you are a parent... You are a parent at the game. You are not a coach, okay? You handed your kid off to our organization to get better. If you want to coach him, go ahead, all you want on your free time, like when you have that kid 24/7. But when he is under our supervision, when he is wearing that wrecking crew across his chest, let us do our job. You know, there's nothing more
Straight up calling out his own parents.
No, there's nothing more to psych out a kid than I've seen it a few times throughout my years. I'm not saying like current years, but I've seen it throughout the past 4 years that I've coached where I'll have parents on the edge of the fence talking to my kid while he's in the on-deck circle or while he's in the field. He'll be looking over at his parent and looking for confirmation. And it's like these kids can't learn how to play the game on their own if they're relying on you to tell them, hey, move to the left, hey, do this, hey, get your elbow inside, hey, do all this and that. Like it's not a healthy thing to do if you want to develop a good athlete, especially in the realm of baseball. Like it's 80% mental, 20% physical. And if they can't figure out that mental piece, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Wow.
Amen.
That's a whole ass TED talk right there, dude. Way to take up all our fucking time.
My bad.
No,
He was about to cry.
Nah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. You got to let your kid sink or swim. You got to let him fail. You got to let him go through that. I've seen the same thing. I've coached travel baseball as well. And one of our best players, his dad was the head coach. And I mean, dude, it was insane. Every single pitch, he looks over to dad. Every single swing at the plate, he looks over to dad, looking for that confirmation, or dad starts yelling at him. He melts down. Leave your kids alone. Let them play the game. Let the coaches coach, umpires ump, parents spectate. That's what you're there to do. You're not there to coach. You're not there to be the umpire. And like Jordan said, your kid's not going to become the player that he needs to become, he or she, if we're talking about softball, because this applies to both. If you are constantly trying to coach him during the game and they're not focused on the game. Like one of the best things to me about sports is it's an escape. It's a time where you can just lock in. You're with your best buds. You're playing. You're in flow state. You know, you're not thinking. You're not even hearing anything really outside of your coaches. But when mom or dad is blah, 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 they can never get into that state. And then they underperform and mom and dad get even more mad. And it's like, shut up.
Yep.
Let the kid play.
Yep.
But honestly, you can't even leave it up to the parents in some situations.
What do you mean?
So like, I honestly believe the coaches set the tone. If the coach sets the tone from day one that this is how things are ran, the parents know what's up. Like I'm lucky enough with my team that I have good group of parents that they know what's up. They know that me and shout out to Coach Charles, Big C. But they know that me and him have the kids under control, right?
Yeah.
So another guy, shout out Uncle Bo. Everybody knows Uncle Bo. Always taking all the kids in the Land Rover.
Shout out to you, Uncle Bo.
But yeah, the parents know what's up, right? They know I don't like yelling. I don't like yelling coming from the stands, so they know nice and quiet. That's what's going to win us games.
That is a great point. It is definitely on the head coach to get control of his parents and have those one-on-one meetings if it's needed. Because if you don't, I mean, people are going to do what you allow. So if you don't set that hard line in the sand of like, hey, also we have it in all of our contracts that parents are not allowed to be talking to their kids during the game. They're not there to umpire. They're there to watch and support and cheer. That's it.
But at the same time, you kind of understand where they're coming from. So you kind of got to meet it in the middle, right?
True.
It's never going to be like, oh, they're not going to talk to their kid. Of course, they're going to always say something.
But there's a way to do it appropriately, and there's a way to do it inappropriately.
Yeah.
You know, if little Timmy comes in and you see something that's just way off, you know, maybe you can go over and say a little something to him. But honestly, again, it comes back to what Crispy said. It's like, let the coaches coach. Tell them that after the game. Yeah. Like, hey, man, on the ride home, like, hey, dude, I noticed when you were at second, you weren't getting prepped in time or whatever. Like, you
the
don't
ride home is the worst thing ever.
But at the same time,
0 for 3 with 3 Ks.
But at the same time, if my son was out there, get yourself ready, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
Get yourself ready. That's normal.
It is.
Get yourself ready. But
it is. But there's a level.
line.
There's a line. There's a line. Taylor, what do you think about it? What are some of your pet peeves from parents?
From parents, I would say when they're up on the fence, like, again, like trying to coach their kids, or they're chirping at whoever it may be. You know, I love the chirping, but keep it on our side. Don't chirp at the other team, because then if you get a warning, I get tossed, or however the hell that works. But just stay with us and let us coach. Let the kids play. Your kid is there to have fun. You're not getting recruited from any D1 schools at 6th, 7th grade and middle school. So just let them play and have fun. But I've been lucky enough to have really good parents the last 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I think, you know, overall we're very lucky in our organization that most of the parents are awesome. They're very supportive. They, you know, a lot of parents go the extra mile and bring snacks, or they take pictures, or, you know, they help us with connections at Little League. So we're very grateful for all our parents. And this isn't necessarily a message to our parents, but these coaches see you guys are out at tournaments every weekend, seeing all coaches from all different organizations, and the problems are across the board, you know, and almost every organization, it's the same problems. And like we said, a lot of times, even the player problems stem from the parent. So by being that correct parent, you can really make a big difference in your kid's game and life and just confidence. But Crispy, did you have something?
Yeah, no, I had another one that, because this weekend we ran into, like I said, our parents are awesome. I love our parents, but championship game this past weekend with our 12s, we ran into a team that had vicious parents. That is saying it with a soft shell. But like, for instance, there was a balk call on their guy, and he slipped on the mound, so the ump called a balk. Coach goes out there, reverts it. He goes back to first. But as that ump called a balk, from the stands, because I'm in the third base box and they're on the third base side, the other team's on the third base side, I hear a mom say, "I'm going to stab someone."
Wow.
Just straight up, "I'm going to stab someone." Like,
wow.
And vicious comments like that coming out. And I just look at the coach. I'm like, wow, you got some intense parents over there, buddy. And he's just like, I'm just glad I've never had to deal with anything close to that.
That is wild. This is 12-year-old baseball we're talking about. Travel ball or not. These are 12-year-old children
kids
talking about stabbing someone.
Acting like they took the over-under on this with $500 on the line or some shit.
But at the same time, like, that's the coach's job right there.
That's all
he needs to set that tone.
It is. He does. No, you're right.
The
culture of an organization starts at the top and it tends to flow down. But I mean, I'm sure you guys have run into those teams. Obviously you have, but I know growing up, we would run into some teams where the head coach was a shit talker and the whole team became a shit talker. The parents were talking crap. And it's a psychological warfare. You know, it's a strategy. It's a tactic. I mean, Taylor, if you remember that Penn High School CIF championship.
Oh, yeah. Number one chirper out here. I was their 10th man.
Honestly, Taylor played a factor in that game. Like his chirping
high school kids.
Dude.
Chirping high school kids. When you
put it that way.
Bro, he's like 2 years out of high school, so it's all right.
I appreciate that, Will.
I got your back, dude. But no, dude, that chirping was real, bro. Like Taylor was living rent free in those kids' heads, and they were shook, dude. So it is a strategy. Some teams embrace it, others don't. But at the end of the day, this is youth sports. These are kids. Yeah. Come on, have some character, have some class, do things the right way. It's not all about winning or losing. Of course, you want to win, but
at the end of the day, it's the man that your child is becoming.
Exactly. We're trying to develop young men and young women with great qualities on and off the field. And it starts with the parents. It starts with the coaches. And honestly, I know that youth sports to me had a bigger impact in my life than school or a lot of things. Like, these are things that you experience as a young man or woman that will stay with you your whole entire life. And you really learn a lot of life lessons in these situations. So kids, take advantage, man. This is a very special time in your life. Like, it's gonna fly by so quick. I know you hear that and it sounds cliche and all that, but dude, I promise you, like, one day you're gonna look back and wish you did everything you could have. You're gonna wish you went as hard as you could at practice, that you were doing the off the field stuff, the weights, the pull-ups, the running. You're gonna look back and just be like, man, that was some of the best times of my life. And I know for me, that's one of my biggest regrets, is just not taking my athletic career serious and not cherishing how special of a time it is. You only get it once. You only get it once, and baseball and softball is going to end for everybody at some point. So I encourage everyone to just play as long as you can. Play till they tell you can't. And I think we're going to wrap the segment here. Listening to Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger. We got Mr. Angel Gonzalez, Taylor Felipe, and Jordan Chris, and we will be back for another segment. Stay tuned.